without hanging on to the negative sides of his upbringing and stuff, because he's overcome so much. So I kind of want to talk about that as well, because if anyone's going through difficult times, difficult emotions, some of the things that he does can resonate with other people. And one of the things that I loved, I mean, my favorite word, the word I love, accountability. I'm so big on accountability. And he talks about the accountability mirror and how he looks in the mirror to ask himself tough questions. And he was out of shape, he was fat, he was overweight, and he looked in the mirror and he was honest with himself. He said, David, you're fat, you're a failure, you're out of shape. And he really talked to himself and told himself like the truth, the hard truths, which sometimes in life, you got to be real. You got to be real with yourself. You got to be real with some of your friends sometimes, some of your family. It might not be nice. It might not be pleasurable, but sometimes you just have to come back to reality. And I love that section where he not only looked at himself in the mirror and told himself those hard truths, but it made him realize, I've got to do something about it. And that's when he started to implement things to lose weight and challenge himself. I mean, he's been through a lot of failures as well, which is another thing I wanted to talk about.
But I think we have to build up to that. To the failures, because that's way back first. But I think with the accountability mirror, what it caused him to do, that whole step, because remember that section of his life when he actually started it was when he was in college or school. He was in assistant education, so this was way before he even started that journey to become, because he was trying to fit in. He was living up to the stereotype, shall we say? And I think he went to like a good school, like a private school at one stage. Then he went to a school in the hood. Then he went back to the private school or something like that. And then he kind of started to play the character of, the ghetto. He used to call himself a fake thug, basically, like a fake ghetto thug. Then I think he kind of just snapped out of it eventually, started cutting his hair and all that kind of stuff. And I think with the accountability mirror, and at the end of every chapter, he gives a challenge. So he'll give you a challenge. So one of the challenges he says, just be real with yourself. And I think it goes down to that, it's a constant thread throughout the whole story or throughout the whole book is reflection, which comes from that accountability mirror. Do you know what I mean? The ongoing conversations you have, the inner conversations, because, I think there's a stat and he says something, the average person thinks 2,000 to 3,000 thoughts per hour. That's incredible. Do you know what I mean? Like, think of, that's a lot, and it's true. So the kind of conversations you're having with yourself and what you do with that, because we know in ourselves if we're lying to ourselves or being honest with ourselves. And the accountability mirror is the kind of thing that helps you. Well, if you're strong enough to do it, it will let you be real with yourself. Say, no, you know what? I'm not actually, the person I'm pretending to be on the outside isn't who I really am. And you have to own your thoughts and own yourself and whatnot. So yeah, man, I think for him to get to that point, he had to go through a lot, through school, through him, the whole stuttering, and again, he had good role models as well, because he had I think it was Sister Catherine, the nun, who kind of showed him that you can do more than what's actually put in front of you. Do you know what I mean? Or what you're supposed to do. You can kind of elevate from your status.
100%. I think the accountability mirror as well helped him to realize so many different things. Like you touched on it briefly, like he cheated his way through like exams and stuff. He was copying people to scrape through exams. But then later on in life, when he actually had to do things that required the education needed, he really struggled. And I think that just goes to show, like, you can't cut corners, really. Cheating cheaters never prosper, as they say. He really learned the hard way when it came to that.
Mr. Fly and I are always dropping gems. And to watch the full episode, click here. Or for some more snippets and some more gems, click here. Peace.